Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm gonna go over Bitcoin and another cryptocurrency. Probably take a look at Metis, guys. So Metis probably came down to his own. Not to say you shouldn't be careful with some of these cryptos right now, guys. And the other thing is too, made a video about that is that some of these cryptos are going to struggle to get out of where they're trying to get out of their bottoms. Um, which ones? Just don't know. Some of them will pump, in my opinion. Some of them won't. That's just the reality of it, guys. So, anyhow, let's go into Bitcoin, guys, and take a look at see what's going on with it. I have those lines on there. So, here's the deal with it. All right, on Bitcoin, right here, like this. All right. So this one, this 29.4. I don't have an order in at that one yet. I'm still debating on whether I want to do that one, but I have one here, 29.189 and 28.604. So I put just above the 28.3. Let me put on the moving averages. I'll show you guys. You can see it's testing around that 921. This is the 40. And you can see the 40 is right at 28,400. So it's already come up there. So by the time it gets down there, it probably won't be in this area. But this whole pink area is a fair value gap. It's a daily fair value gap, guys. And I would not be shocked to see Bitcoin do a half fill on that, which is sitting right at 29,000 on that daily fair value gap. These fair value gaps work. I put a limit order right on top of it. They're notorious for bouncing off. It doesn't mean it's continuing the trend. Like they could bounce and continue, but it just depends. But I had a limit order right there, bounce out of that, and boom, and did this move right here. Okay. After this one, and then I put another one, exited, put another one here, exited. So I've been going in and out of Bitcoin a little bit, guys, lately, because I wouldn't say it's easy, but in this area, since it's slowed down so much, it's a little bit easier, I guess you could say. It wasn't like it was down here where it was kind of, trying to catch this thing. But so those are the areas I'm looking at. Somebody asked on Twitter, like a Hail Mary order is down at 27.16. Do I think that that's going to hit? Probably. I don't think so. I think it's a very, very low probability. That's what I'll say about that, guys. I mean, 28.3 is 28.4-ish to 29.1 and 29.4, just right in this area is really what I think. And then if you just take it, you see how this, it's at 28,400 right now, the 40 period moving average, guys. You just take that, and it's probably going to go something like that. Okay. So eventually you see it's sandwiched between the 9 and the 21 right now. It's probably bounce back up and then eventually come back down, something like that, guys. Okay. Will it take that much time? Don't know. It could, but things are pointing towards a little bit more downside for Bitcoin, guys. Come back down into those areas. Okay. So otherwise, I would be making a plan. If you're not in it, your first shot was right here at the 24, and you'll have another shot over here. Okay. And it's probably not going to go as low as you want. So remember, you can be greedy on the way down, just like you can be greedy on the way up. And the reality of it is that I've learned through experience, I'm greedy on the way down. You want lower prices. And that greed prevents you from getting into positions or getting in positions that that are not as big or smaller. So it prevents you from making more of my money. It can be hard to control sometimes. So sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and go, hey, Bitcoin is a little bit more bullish than I might realize, and it just might not correct that much, guys. The reality of it is you take this wave, right? If I take this wave, right, here's this whole wave, and you hit 50%, there's 50% right there at 28,166. It would not be a shocker to see it come down and bounce right off that either, too. So that's another spot, 28,166. Okay. That's what it's been doing for the most part with most of these other waves, too. Let's take a look at this wave. See what it did right here. Do a retrace on this leg, give you an idea right there at the bottom. We'll go wick to wick. This is on logarithmic too. You can take it off log. You'll get a different number. Well, look at that. You see that? It bounced right off the 50% right there, guys. Boom. You see the confluence there with this demand supply zone right here. It bounced right off the 50% logarithmic. So you want to check both too, you know, just get an idea what I mean, both logarithmic and linear on a retrace. So you put it on, you check it on 50% is, let me see, did I do that right? 50% is right at 28,000, just under 28,000. Let me make sure I got this on here right, guys. Yeah, so what is that at? 50% is right at 27,900. Okay, and put it on linear, just like that. It's at 28,100 on linear, guys. So definitely a zone right there for a Hail Mary buy order on Bitcoin, guys. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm very confident that Bitcoin is going to be trending up and to the right. It's going to be probably targeting at a minimum 40,000. So let me go over the longer term time frames so that you guys know what I'm checking out. So I give you some numbers of things that I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Where is this going to end up? Nobody knows. This massive blow off. I've seen a lot on Twitter to really high numbers. I don't think that's going to happen. You know, if it does happen, hey, great, but I'm not expecting it. It'll be a gift if it does happen, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that's a pretty low probability. I think, definitely this zone right here, this 40 to 48 and maybe a wick up to 55 is a realistic target. I made a previous video yesterday that there were fib targets on the 2-month chart were right in this area from 55 to 82, right in this area. And now they're up from about 81 as high as 116 in that area, guys. So it's going to depend on what this wave is going to develop as, okay? So you clearly have a 5-wave move and you have a correction, okay? Let's take a look at the whole wave and see what it corrected to. On linear, you're going to need linear on this one because it's such a shallow correction. Let's see here. Yeah, see that didn't even correct. Yeah, that was a pretty shallow correction on that whole wave. From there back down to here, it's not even 50% of the whole wave. So can that happen? That can happen. I know most people insist on second wave corrections being extremely deep. They're not always deep because they can flip-flop. So what can happen, guys, is that I'll show you. They can flip-flop sometimes. So you can't rule that out. So you have a deep second wave correction here, right? And then based on this leg, this fourth wave is deep, even though this wave, if you want to call it a fourth wave, whatever this may be, that was a 56% correction. And I think this was like 70% wick to wick. But they can flip-flop at times where you can have a real deep fourth wave correction and then a shallow second wave correction. And technically, this second wave was like shallow if you take out the wick. If you take out the wicks and you just go like candle by to candle, it's 53%. But for up this one was pretty deep. But it's the wicks that really throw that off because that's very, very deep. So like 70% from there to there, 72% on that correction on wick to wick. So it just kind of depends on you really have to be in a realm of being able to what's the word to describe? I used to call it pick up basketball. You have a business, you got this plan. It's you know, if you're a business, it's not going to go according to plan. I think these people are new in business. They have this plan. They actually think it's going to follow that plan. You want to have the plan, okay? You want to have the plan, but the odds of it going exactly according to plan are small. You got just too many variables, other people involved, other behaviors, other personalities that it's just not going to go according to plan. So it's the same thing with the markets, right? I can plan for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great if it does it. Well, what if it doesn't? What's the plan? So here are a couple things that I'm looking at right here, guys. You check this out. And then if it does something like that, okay? If it does something like that and you see a move up here, okay? So you got a move up here for Bitcoin. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe this is some sort of corrective move. Let's say it's a B wave for the time being. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So now you got a 5, bam, 5, okay? And it just stops right there. It looks like it's going to go into a correction. That's definitely going to be an area of caution, in my opinion, guys. I definitely think that Bitcoin is at a minimum going to make that move. Okay. At a minimum. So how are you going to know? You're not going to know until it gets up there. This can morph into an ABC. This can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be 1, 2, and then, maybe another 1, 2 in here. And it's just going to do a moonshot out of there and go up to these numbers these guys talk about on Twitter at 175,000 guys. What are the odds are that this is a fifth wave? It could be. If it is a fifth wave, I've gone over this before in previous videos. This is 1, 2, here's your 3, 4, and then maybe a 5 up like that. That is a possibility. It's putting off characteristics like that. Just kind of slow to start. And this area too, if this is going to be a third wave, even in the beginning of the third wave, you can see that they are slow to start. You can go to GBTC, the first wave, and then the first wave of the third wave are slow to start. So after this wave, it should accelerate if you want Bitcoin to be in a third wave. So you come over here to GBTC is a good example. Take a look at this over here in this wave, okay? So in GBTC's early wave, you can clearly see here's this 1, 2, and then it just dragged its butt for another 1, 2 for almost a year. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then here you go. You're 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. You see? And then it just started accelerating. That's what you're going to want to see with Bitcoin over here. If that is what is going on with Bitcoin, guys, you need to start seeing after this wave, we need to start seeing accelerate out of there. Pretty good on Bitcoin, guys. So in this area, so if this is 1, 2, and this is another 1, 2, this is going to need to start accelerating pretty good, guys. Okay. To have a strong wave 3. Is it going to be a strong wave 3? Don't know. That's why you probably should have a position from here to here if you're not in it. The ultimate position was down here in crypto, or over here, right here, even right here, just somewhere in this area was to get your position. And if you were late, your position was in here, even through here, it's still here, all through here is good. And then now you have another shot to get another position. Okay. And the issue is that nobody can tell you where this thing is going to end up. I can give you ballpark areas, the numbers that I showed you, what could come up with. 40 to 48 is the next step. Okay. And then going up to 55. And then there's obviously up to 70, 71. And then there's 81. And there's numbers beyond that. If it's getting up there, more than likely, this is going to be a wave and there's going to be a correction and it's going to start going into a third wave. Okay. That's how I would look at it with Bitcoin. This will go up probably to 48, maybe hit 55, do a correction in this area to 2024, and then it's going to accelerate into a third wave. That's how I would look at that with Bitcoin, guys. So at this point right now is wait for this correction to get done and get yourself prepared for this move up here. Okay. Get yourself prepared for that move. And then you have to evaluate to see what is going to be going on. I don't make assumptions that it's going to be going up to 120K. That's just not a good plan, guys. It's just not a good plan. Things can change quick in cryptocurrency. It does have some good things behind it. I think the ETF things, if they actually come around, yeah, I mean, maybe these numbers are going to be realistic up here. The ETF deal with the Bitcoin. I don't agree with the ETFs. Long term, I don't think it's going to have much of a benefit, possibly even a little bit more negative on it long term. But short term, definitely will have impact on price. There's no doubt about that. So maybe this is going to be going into some sort of moonshot, and I don't realize it. Okay. But I do think there's going to be a FOMO wave, guys, of some sorts in this area, wherever it's going to end up. More than likely, in my opinion, I think the 48 is definitely a target of 48K. And because it gets above these levels up into here now, more people will get comfortable, and it could have a shot to 50 and even higher up in there. A shot like that, guys, is what I think definitely could happen for sure. So anyhow, that's Bitcoin, guys. Those are the numbers that I'm looking at. And then that last one there, 27,500, 27,600. Like I said, that's like a Hail Mary order that I have. Do I think it's going to hit? Probably not going to hit, but you just never know. So, I've done it before. I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't going to hit. Put it in. And then next thing you know, you come back later and it hit. So, depends on how you want to have everything set up, guys. So that's how I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I definitely think, just looking at the numbers and the NASDAQ, I know the bears are back out on the NASDAQ. Tony's going to drop like a rock. The NASDAQ's just going to be in a correction, guys. It's going to continue to go up, and it's going to just continue to trend up. It's in a correction up there, guys. And this clearly, you clearly hear it's in a third wave of some sort right there. Just going off LA waves, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could possibly even be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in a correction, and it's going to be testing those highs. So that's going to give support for Bitcoin. Same thing, the rest of the other indices. I was looking at GBTC too, guys, and there's some data I'm looking at. This could accelerate pretty quick too, over here on GBTC, guys, right here. So like, there's you see that black line that I have? That black line is I think that's 50% fib target. It seems like it could be a target. It'll get down there, bounce off that pretty easy. So I wouldn't be surprised with GBTC, guys, if it's going to swing back around and there'll be a wick down, it'll bounce out of there. But you see this spot right here? It's right on top of there, right on top of this area. And if you swing back right over here, this area, and right on top of over there. So I really think that, as an example, if you're in GBTC, having a $16.90 or 84 cents, and this actually could accelerate up here and get into this pink area pretty quick, guys, pretty quick. Okay. And if it does get up there pretty quick, that's probably going to give you a clue that maybe Bitcoin is going to do the same thing and get up to where it's going pretty quick too, and could be in a third wave. Okay. So GBTC, it's wave 1. This is the 2, and this is a 50% retrace, and now it's whizzing out of there, and this is accelerating, and it probably won't have much of a retrace, just a wick down to there, okay, to this half fill on the fair value gap. And if it starts whizzing out of there real quick, you're going to know that Bitcoin is probably going to follow suit right behind it, guys. So that's how I'm looking at it. And I would just, you're going to have to you cannot be passive in the environment you are right now, especially if Bitcoin is going to be entering into possibly a third wave, guys. You cannot be passive investor if you're not in, and just, kind of like, oh, whatever. This will leave you behind if it gets into an aggressive wave, guys. And you won't have much of a chance. You'll just be shallow. So you get stuck. So like it happened to people over here, right? They really didn't have a shot until up here. Okay. I doubt many people in here just went up too quick, and that could happen right over here. And Bitcoin could be up in this area fairly quick, guys, and by August, and this is July, we're almost in the middle of July. In August, it could be up there at 40,000 or 42,000. Okay. So don't be passive. Don't be passive. If it's down there at 28, 29, I would bite. Not financial advice. All right, let's go over Metis, guys. Here's Metis on this chart. I made a post on Twitter, and you got to go over the whole chart on Metis. But this was a capitulation candle, in my opinion. People gave up on Metis. It's all going to zero type mentality, so they sold off. And you can see the candle right there, and it's getting sucked back up. So that's actually a good signal for Metis. Okay, it's not going to say it's going to start doing a moonshot out of there. Obviously, these cryptos, man, these things are like asleep right now for the most part. They're really just, you could see the cryptos, the good ones. You can see that they're going bullish. They want to go bullish, but it just doesn't have the support from the market yet to really get these things get going, guys. So that's the issue. But anyhow, let me go to the whole chart of Metis. This is whole chart of Metis. Okay, and you can see from here all the way over to here. So 1 year correction. a 1-year correction. So it's a flat. You see it's a flat. That's why they call these things flats, because they don't go anywhere. They go sideways. You can see right here. That's why they call these things flats, basically. This is not the flat, but I'm going to include that portion of it. And you can see all throughout Metis's time, whizzed up there, and it went through this whole section. You can see a 3-way move here. This is a 3-way move here, whether it ended here, and then a 3-way move over here. It made a nice flat. Okay. And now, like I said, doesn't mean it's going to do a moonshot out of there, because cryptos are having a really, really difficult time getting themselves out of there, because, obviously the flow of money is more or less going to Bitcoin, maybe a little bit of Ethereum. So, and then it's not heading into the altcoins quite yet, guys. But right here, I double checked this wave, and that's an impulsive wave. That's an impulsive wave, guys. You can see the highest peak on the RSI is right there. And then, here's your divergence, giving you the clue that this is an impulsive move that it did. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, if somehow that turns out to be some sort of WXY or some sort of weird wave, hey, that's a pretty good disguise that it did right there, guys. I mean, I'm sure some bear could come in there and say, yeah, WABC, XABC, and it very well could be, but you have divergence on a 12-hour chart right there. That's usually, usually 3-way moves don't have the divergence, guys. That's how I find it. So over here is going to be a good little deal for Metis, in my opinion. I would just hold off on it. I mean, well, depends on your position on Metis, guys. Like, what is that, $14? That's pretty good. Anyhow, here's this 5-wave move. You can clearly see on the daily chart. There's this 3rd wave. There's your divergence right there. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4, and whizzed up onto a 5. So here's this move over here. Didn't really have a chance to go super bullish, because it just looks like it came out May of 21 at the end of the bull market right here. For most of cryptos, bull market ended in February to April of 21. Metis came out and it was boom. And it came back over here in a nice 3-wave swing. It did a rip out of here onto a wave, and now it's over here in this massive flat, which could be a really good signal for this over here, though. But you want to pay attention to the market, because if you are entering into Metis over here, you got a wave over there, and then you got this massive flat over here, and it just might go up something like that, okay, up to those areas, only to start correcting back over here, guys, okay? It could do that. It very well could do that. I mean, there's a couple ways you can get a bearish, an ABC move out of there, guys. I mean, that's the reality of it, okay? You can get an ABC move, and then this whole move over here, you're gonna have something similar. Probably just go like that, more than likely. It looks like it's gonna make its base right in this area, guys. Okay, so probably go up and then just kind of like that, and then when the market goes bullish again, boom. That's the bearish scenario. That is the bearish scenario. I'm looking at fibs though. It looks like it wants to take off in September or something like that, or fibs and algos and things. But anyhow, but otherwise for Metis, this ends up being a 1. And then this whole freaking thing would be your 2, your 1-year second wave, and then it's going to be going off into a 3rd wave. But of course, crypto is, there's not the excitement behind it quite yet. So it's going to be 1, 2, and then probably another 1, 2, correct back down here, and then it can get out of there. That would probably be more realistic for Metis. So you're going to have serious sideways action for a while, as you can see, guys. So that's probably, if it was me. So I made a post on Twitter talking about this, and I was like, check Metis, make sure it doesn't go too far below the low in this section. It doesn't look like it's going to breach it. So what I would do is you keep it back here. Okay. Now this can fail. And the reason it can fail is Metis just starts taking off, right? So that's the risk. I don't know if the thing's going to take off, or if it's going to make another wave, go over here, boom, or if it's just going to go up and go this way, okay? So what do you do? Okay, this is what I would do right here, okay? You got your wave right there, right? And then you got this massive flat over here, okay? Just wait for Metis to go up and do another correction over here. Okay, so now you get your 1 and your massive 2, and you want to see this wave. This wave over here, okay, should not be higher than this wave, okay? And then you want to see a correction that's not going to be long as this, okay? So if you start seeing a long correction, that's not a good signal, okay? So that's what I would be checking out over here with Metis, guys. You want to be checking out a nice wave and then a nice another correction, and then you got a little bit lower high over in this section, kind of like over here. You got 1 and a little bit lower high, and then you got 1 here, and then a higher low, right? In that section like that. And then you can get over there into Metis, guys. Okay. Now, if you're a long-term type of guy in the coin, the cryptocurrency Metis, that's a different story. You know, you're basically just accumulating. You're boom, I'm going to grab some, I'm going to grab some, and you're just accumulating, and you have the patience. You got a longer term mindset with the asset, and you're building up your bag to get ready for Metis to do a moonshot over here. Because at the end of the day, at some point, Metis is going to break this high, right? So you're a long-term investor, and it's going to break that high, and you're planning for your 20x. And that's what's going to happen. And that's very, very realistic. Just the thing is you got to look at it longer term. I don't think, can Metis do a 20x from here? Yeah, it's cryptocurrency. Definitely could, but that would be your plan. So you're building up your bag for that. I don't think the coin's going to be going anywhere. It has a good structure. Haven't heard anything negative on it recently. And, you know, not a lot of people are talking about it because it's gone sideways too. So it's definitely time to be looking at it when nobody's talking about the coin. Like this is like not on anybody's radar right anymore. You know, it was on everybody's radar when it did this, right? And it went through here a little bit, and now it's over here. Nobody wants to hear about it. It's junk. That, you know, their whole mentality is down here, almost breaking the lows. It's junk. And that's when you're supposed to be buying these things, right? Or at least checking them out. Like, wait a second, there's Metis. Let me look at it. It looks, yeah, nobody wants to buy it, right? That's when basically you want to buy all that, guys. So, or at least start checking it out. Let's take a look at the weekly chart and see what the RSI is telling us. Okay. See what the RSI, so you can see here's the third wave peak, and there's your divergence from there to there. You swing back down. You have a little bit of a move here, and then boom, boom. Okay, so yeah, that was a corrective swing right there, guys. It looks like swung back up aggressively there and came back down. So yeah, this whole thing is a flat more than likely, just by that look. So you can see, and then this is your flat within your flat. So what it did is this 3-wave swing, and then this move right here came up very aggressively flat, okay? And then it's back over here and dragged all that RSI back down here, guys. So more than likely 1 and then 2. You can see the mess that it made down there in that RSI. So it looks pretty good, actually. And the weekly wicks look really, really good. That's what you want to see. Right there. Let me clear that up for you and take a look at that. Okay. Clear this up just like this over here. You know, you want to see that. That's not to say, but that's a good signal. You know, you want to see the wicks. Long weekly wicks like that, guys, is a really, really good signal. Okay. And kind of like right there and right that area. And you can see it didn't break the low. Didn't break the low, guys. So come back over here to Metis, see what it did on this chart. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. What did it get down to? 1471. 1471. I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be a little bit of a trade if you picked it up down there. I was thinking about it too, because, you know, like it could pop to 22 and 25 pretty easy. You could get like a 2x out of that, more than likely, pretty quick. But I didn't pull the trigger. So, all right, guys, that's the end of my video. So I just want to go over Metis, let you guys know what was going on with that, and show you the whole time frame and all this other stuff, what's going on with it, and also Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is hanging out in those areas. Take a look at it again. 30,000, 349. It's just getting sandwiched between those two, to be expected. So a move here gets sandwiched. It actually probably could trend all the way back up into 30,600, and then it might start gravitating its way back down here in those areas, guys, is what I would expect. Okay, so not a lot of excitement going on. I was looking at Atom too, guys. Atom is another one that I thought looked pretty decent, you know, after this whole thing did its correction. But that wick right there, and then this whole thing, it did like all these assets did flats. So it came back down, whizzed out of there. You can see this is the same move of Metis. You see 3, and then there's its this move right here is the flat within the flat, and then a 3-wave move over here. So, you know, this move over here is very difficult to suss out. I don't like it, but your 3-wave, and then your 3-wave, and then your 3-wave over here. And then this is either A, B, C, or it's going to be 1, 2, 3. For Atom. If it is a connector wave, if Atom is doing a connector wave, it won't be, I mean, it needs to get that connector wave way up there, because this is the wave that came down, right? ABC. So you got A. If that turns out to be a connector wave, it should have a C, and that C should come up and touch that, in my opinion. It should come right up to that supply zone and touch that, just like that, if this is a connector wave, okay? So if this is a bearish bounce, I would expect this to be very aggressive. If it's a 1-2, then it's gonna struggle to get out of there. That's usually how it works. You know, the bear bounce are usually strong like that. So, but the deal is, if this is an ABC, then you have one over here. You see this one that I drew over here. So something like that is going to be going on, potentially. Not necessarily that low, but, you know, this would be a very, very, you know, long drawn out. Here's your dump. There's your connector wave, and then there's another dump over here to make some massive flat over here, and then it can go bullish again. So, if not, you want a bullish sequence, you want to be bullish, then this is your 1, this is your 2, and then this will probably be 1, 2, and maybe even deeper, and then it would start rolling out of there. And definitely that's going to be a target. This supply zone up there is a target for Atom. Okay. It's whether it's going to go bullish, it's going to hit this if it's bullish, and more likely it's going to hit it if it's bearish. More than likely, guys. More than likely. Just even let me take a fib extension on this thing, just like so. Get back down here. Where's 1-to-1 is right in that area. I'll pop right up into there. More than likely is what I would think. Especially if it gets up like this, people get bullish. That's what's going to pop it. If it's a bear bounce, so like ABC, so it gets up in this area, and you'll have your last little bit of FOMO. Well, pop it, get into the supply zone. So what retail won't realize for Atom is that this supply zone, that if it's a bear bounce, they won't realize the supply zone above their head. So boom, and it gets up there, and it's coming down to reverse. So supply zones are different when it's bullish and then when it's a bearish bounce. But even if it's bullish, it will still stop there and then correct. It'll probably still come up the supply zone and correct, right? And then it'll turn that into support. It'll turn that into support is the difference. But if it's bearish, it'll hit it, got a supply to go back down here like that. So that's how those work usually. And either way, I would expect sometime in maybe by the end of the year in 2024, it should do that, even if it's bearish, in my opinion. All right, guys, that's the end of my video. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.